Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the number one undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. I am your host, Mark Roxey, and I'm delighted that you are with us today. It is an exciting day at the Boxing Breakdown, and it's even more exciting in the boxing world. We have tons of boxing news we are going to chop up. I am so excited. It's going to be an absolute barn burner at the Boxing Breakdown. We've got Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford conversation. We're going to get into the Deontay Wilder versus Robert Heleinus fight. And we've got the Conor Benn versus Christopher Eubank Jr. conversation. We'll round out the 30-minute Boxing Breakdown with the Tyson Fury versus Chisoria. And without further ado, my friends, let me welcome into the studio my partner in crime, professional boxing judge, Mr. Harold Hunt. Come on in. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
What do you mean, how am I doing? Did you hear my intro, bro? What do you mean, how am I doing?
Yeah.
I am pumped, baby. Pump.
The boxing world is awash with all this information, so I'm ready to drop it.
You ready to drop it? Let's go and drop it. So listen, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, thank you for being with us today. And if you are tuning in to our pretty brand new YouTube channel, we're firing it up. We're working on it. And we're really excited to be here in living color. Harold and I love this platform, and we're having lots of fun with it, of course. And so let's get into this Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford in November, Harold?
Yes. We have two dates that they're hashing around, the 12th and the 19th. MGM has two properties. They have to decide which property they want to put the fight in.
Yeah.
But those are the dates we're looking at. They want to do the 12th. Now, what we're looking at is something before Thanksgiving. And around Thanksgiving time, people tend to want to have something special. You got family around, that type of thing. So they're hoping to have it either the 12th or the 19th, a Thanksgiving type fight. And the world's really going to be looking forward to it. They got plenty of time to do promotions, and there's a lot to talk about.
Dude, what do you mean there's lots to talk about? These are two, possibly two of the best fighters in all of boxing, let alone their respective division. So this is an exciting fight, man. And do you know how close they are to making this fight? Is it a done deal, or?
Right now, the contracts are in place. They're just solidifying the date and the venue.
Okay.
So basically, that's where we are, and it's not speculation. It is as it is. A date just has to be solidified. Simple.
So wait a minute. So there's no snafus. There's no snags. There's no potential that this fight is not going to happen, or do you think it's still, it's still like a mezza, maybe like a 55 pizza pie? What do you think?
They got 3 months to train, plenty of time to train.
Okay.
No one's injured, right?
Yep.
So the date is available. MGM Grand, as I said before, they got the properties to put it in. There's no competition. They're going to give the world what they want.
Right. And I hear that Stancionius is also, he might be on the undercard.
Yes, they're already trying to formulate the undercard. So to me, that gives a lot of indication of what's going to happen.
Right. There's some chitter about Virgil Ortiz Jr. Going against Stancianos, I guess.
Well, if that's that, I haven't heard that of yet. Now, he just went through his fight.
Yeah, against Michael McKinson, and he stopped him. He stopped that guy.
Right. And he didn't sustain too much of injury, just a swollen eye and what have you. So he'll be in good shape for that. So that is a possibility. You know, it's going to shake out, and I'm hoping to have a great undercard.
Oh my God. You're already talking about we're talking about the undercard, right? We don't even know if this fight, listen, I am going to, Harold, I'm going to play it calm because, you know, even this podcast might mess up their money, man. Listen, if this fight happens, this could possibly be right. Like if this is in November, right? I cannot wait till the Canelo and Triple G fight. So I got something to look forward to down the pike here in September, right? But to know that this fight might happen in November, man, holy moly, that would be amazing. That would be really amazing for all of us here in boxing land, all of our boxing fans. You guys, listen, that's going to be a great fight. That's all I can say.
I just like the fact that the casual public will be involved in it. It's going to be on every social platform, boxing, non-boxing, news, weather. Everyone's going to be talking about this fight coming up here.
Yeah, that's the holy grail of November.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, boxing fans, you are in for a treat. If they don't stall the negotiations and there's no snags or any kind of, posturing for this, and they can actually make this fight, it's just going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to see those two get in the ring and lock horns, bro. I think the whole boxing world is waiting for that, right?
The Pac Mayweather thing marinated too long.
Yeah.
This will not.
Right. Well, another fight, Harold, that we are, pretty excited to see and talk about is the Deontay Wilder versus Robert Heleinus fight. So why don't you tell me what you got on that one? We were talking about that before the podcast started, so give it up.
Well, there's some background on those two. They were sparring partners. Heleinus came in to help Wilder with Fury from time to time. The scuttlebutt is they kicked Heleinus out because he was performing too well or something to that effect. I cannot necessarily say exactly what it was, but he was removed from the sparring.
Okay.
Whether it was negative or positive, he did leave. Now,
that happens.
Yes. Heleinus is like Fury. He's big like Fury. He was brought in to fight. To give Deontay some work in that type of man size, and so that's what it was. So for whatever reason, this is like a good fight. Heleinus is coming off of a 2-fight victory. He's had 2 fights in the world where he won, and Wilder's coming back like Errol did. He's coming back with a real fight, not a warm-up fight, not a tune-up. A real dude. So he's going to get respect for that. And we all know Deontay Wilder brings excitement.
Right.
Either he's going to knock you out.
Right.
People will go down. And even when in his losses, he's exciting.
Yeah, he's definitely a man down kind of fighter, for sure. He's a man down kind of fighter. Robert Heleinus is no joke, bro. He's 30, I think it's 31-3. He's got like 20.
The Nordic Nightmare.
Yeah, the Nordic Nightmare, man. He's from Finland. He's an Orthodox fighter. The guy is 6 foot, almost 6'7", 6'6.5", man. And he's about, he's in his 30s, late 30s. So, he's 38. So that doesn't mean anything, man. If they're in shape, it does not mean anything, right? When you're 38 and you're rolling with it, you're solid, right? So if he's in shape, he's got a very, very good chance in that fight. I think he's been down. He's been KO'd twice. So he has been stopped. It's not like he hasn't been stopped, but you know.
Yeah, he has a better body. I mean, he's leaner than Fury.
Yeah, he fought Adam Kowalczyk twice recently. His last two fights were against, excuse me, Adam Kowalczyk, and then prior to that, he fought Mathis Roberto Orciano. Yeah. So, and he TKO'd him. He's got 3 TKOs in a row. So prior to that, he lost by Gerald Washington stopped him in the eighth round of a 10-round bout in Minneapolis, actually at the Armory. And yeah, so I mean, but it looks like a very, very interesting fight, Harold.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's good for him to get back on the scene with a big fight. It's going to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So you want to see him fight, you're going to have to pay.
You got to pay to play.
But he's worth the money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and Deontay Wilder is a must-see TV. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, everybody's waiting with bated breath to watch him to get back in the ring. So, it's nice that he hasn't been in the ring for a while, and I think he's built up a lot of pent-up demand for boxing fans to see him again, and hopefully to see a new and improved version of him. Who's he training with right now? Do you know who his trainer is?
Do not know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know what was the gentleman that was working with him for the last fight?
Escapes me totally, but it was someone of note.
Yeah, he was a former fighter. I apologize. I forgot the guy's name, but anyway, hats off to you, the guy that we forgot your name. But we know all of us trainers, it's a thankless job. We know that being a trainer is a thankless job, and it's a hard job too.
15% ain't bad.
Yeah, well, it's more like 20, but yeah.
I was in the cutting, you guys.
So sure. I'm not working for 15%. Are you kidding? That's why I don't have a large stable of fighters. But you know what? I put my 110% into the guys I work with. But I'm not working for 15%, man. I mean, come on, really? 15%. Gosh. I can't get paid enough anyway. I'm unemployable. You can't pay me enough, Harold. All right, so
I get that.
Yeah, so and by the way, Wilder, we didn't mention earlier that Wilder's 42-2 with 1 draw. So he's been stopped 2 times. He's got 41 KOs though. No joke.
Someone's going to go down in the ring with him. He's knocked down every man he's ever been in the ring with. He's knocked every one of them down.
And Tyson Fury, the king of the hill right now, he knocked Tyson Fury down in February of 2020. So, yeah. So I mean, I can't. He's fought King Kong. He's fought Luis Ortiz. Yeah. He's been in the ring with a lot of really great fighters, and he's a monster in there when he goes in that ring. So,
one hitter quitter,
no doubt. That right hand will sleep you. His right hand will sleep you, folks. I mean, so anyway, speaking of sleeping, right? We've been sleeping on this guy Conor Benn, right? Let's talk about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. We got a fight coming up between these two gentlemen, and tell me about that, Harold.
Well, Conor Benn is the son of a great fighter back in the day,
right?
And Chris Eubank is the son of another fighter, Chris Eubank Sr.
That's right.
And in their primes, both of the fathers had epic fights that were iconic in overseas in Europe. You old heads, you know it. You young heads, you go ahead and check it out. Eubank has been pro longer. He's older. Connor is kind of young.
Yeah.
The Benn name is synonymous with boxing overseas in England,
Right.
as
London.
Eubank.
Right. Yep.
So they're going to have a built-in situation just because their fathers fought
Mm-hmm.
and now they're fighting.
Right.
So they both are of note. They both can fight. So it's going to be a good fight, and it's going to garner national situation over there. Here, we know Ben is a good fighter. So
yeah,
he's called out some of the major people here, but now he has the opportunity to kind of clear up and clean up that situation between he and his father's adversary's son.
right.
So it should be a good fight.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this fight. And actually, Harold, this guy, Connor Bean, fights like Mike Tyson, right? Now you know who Mike Tyson is, right?
Yeah, Connor Benn does have that type of seek and destroy type situation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he does. And this fight's going to take place, I believe, in October of this coming year, right? And that's going to be
October. Hot October.
Do you know the date of that? Is it October 15th that this fight happens, or
October 8th?
October 8th. Okay. Yeah, October 8th, and it's at the O2 Arena, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's going to be something, man. That's going to be a great fight. So a little bit more about this guy. What do we know about I guess his Chris Eubank's trainer is what's his name?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about his style.
Yeah.
He knows how to move well. He's a good boxer. He's got power.
Yeah.
Good lateral movement. And he has a killer instinct. So he's going to be boxing and moving. But when he hits you, it can stop you.
Right.
Stall you. Force that respect. So it's not a bull chasing the matador. It is two bulls who are going to take their time and deliver.
Right.
Ben has a more of aggressive style, but it's going to be a good fight either way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because one of them is going to be moving and punching with power, and the other one is going to be coming forward with power.
Right. Yeah, man. So, Eubank is, I think his record is like 32-2. He's got 23 KOs, right? Yeah. And he usually competes somewhere around the middleweight division, like 160, right?
That's his area.
Yeah, man. And the interesting thing about this fight is that Connor Benn is 21-0 with 14 KOs, and he usually competes somewhere in the welterweight division. So he's a little guy coming up. Well, I don't want to say he's little, but he's the smaller guy coming up to fight the bigger guy, right? Yes. What do you make of that, Harold?
Well, as they all say, fighters say, I don't have to cut weight.
Right.
I can come in at my regular weight. I can walk around at the bigger weight. I'm more comfortable. I'm more this, I'm more that. And for the media, okay, that's cool. You're coming up, but you don't have to cut any weight. And the other guy may have to cut weight.
Right.
You're going to come in. In my opinion, when they have the rehydration, that's when the advantages are going to come in. Because when he rehydrates, he may just go up maybe 5-6 pounds because he's already walking around at his body's optimum weight. Whereas Eubank may pick up 20 pounds.
Right.
And then you got a different situation. But he was drained to get to that, whatever contractual weight that they have.
Right.
And, so there's so many variables in there.
Yeah. So listen, these guys have fought before, right? Their parents have fought before. So I think they're titling this thing as Born Rivalries. They're like, it's like born. This is going to be something because I guess their parents have rivalries with one another, and now it's spilling down into their kids, right?
They had some spectacular fights.
Yeah.
I think they fought 3 times, and they had some spectacular fights.
Right.
They really did.
Right. Interesting. I cannot wait for that fight either. How about you guys out there? If you're listening in on YouTube and you are there and you want to leave a comment, just leave a comment, man. We love to hear from you. We always love the comments. And yeah, so jump on into the conversation if you have anything you'd like to say. We're waiting with bated breath to hear what you got to say about these two. It definitely will be a great fight. I know that. October 8th at the O2 Arena in London. It's put on by Matchroom Boxing, DAZN, pay-per-view, Born, Rivals. That's going to be a great
O2
fight.
Arena, that's a famous arena.
Yeah.
Capacity is large.
Yeah, how do those guys sell that out, Harold?
The pedigree of the fathers.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of selling out the arena, bro, talk about selling out arenas. You know who else sells out arenas? I know you know. Tyson Fury, right? Let's get into that. I've been waiting to talk about this. So Tyson Fury is going to be, there could be a trilogy fight against Derek Chisora, right? So that's going to be his return from retirement. I'm not sure what that means because, like, he was just fighting. How did he retire? And I mean, I don't understand. Like, when I retire, bro, I'm done. Why do fighters retire and come back? Let's talk about that for a second, Harold. Why do you think fighters like Floyd Mayweather, right? Tyson Fury, why do they retire and then come back? Why is that? We know they're coming back.
This is an old situation where every fighter's ever been. It's like being a drug addict. Once you're hooked, you're hooked. You can go to rehab all you want. Not to disparage anyone who goes to rehab.
Yes.
But you always have a taste for that particular substance. Fighters are the same way. Their body says, I can't do it anymore, but their mind always will.
Yes.
And it's the hardest thing for them to stop doing this when they've done it all their lives. And it's very hard. So they come back and they kind of tarnish themselves because they'll take some bad losses and bad decisions. And sometimes they end up doing back to club shows. They were making millions of dollars, but their desire to continue to fight,
right,
they end up toppling all the way down to club shows, making almost nothing just because they want to fight and they feel like they can get back to the top.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a fruitless situation. So you have to find a niche that, commentary or something to satisfy that. It's never satisfied ever again. So this is just another example of that. Now, Tyson has the world by the string right now. So everything he does, they're gonna follow him around a little bit. And he's going to take a fight that he can spectacularly win. Yeah. Opponent who can actually bring in a lot of eyeballs is on his side of the continent. And he'll have a great press run with this guy because Derek is good verbally, and it's going to create a splash.
Well, for Chisora, it's going to be his career high payday, no doubt. This will be the biggest payday for him to get in the ring with the likes of a Tyson Fury again. I think at this point, they've had. This is going to be the third fight. So Tyson Fury has made Chisora a rich man. How about that?
He's going to add to that for sure.
Yeah. Not only that, but then, the WBC and Ring Magazine heavyweight champion has also talked about, he obviously was talking about hanging up the gloves, putting them, on the shelf, das kaput, no more, right? But that was after the Dillian White fight at a Wembley Stadium. But then, here he goes. He's coming back. He's going to fight Chisora. And what do you think's after that? Usyk and Joshua have to lock horns, right? They're going to fight coming up, right? When is that fight? The Joshua fight?
It's recent, but my understanding of why Tyson's coming back, he has to take kind of not a tune-up, but this is a big enough fight where he won't be criticized for fighting him again. Yeah. And then he can lay in weight with a recent performance under his belt.
Right.
And then when he goes to fight the winner of the of those two, then he has opportunities to really have something current. His current work is still out there.
Yeah.
He laid Derek out, whatever, and it looks pretty good. And then they have the optics from that and the optics from whoever wins the other fight. And you have some clips and things to put together to, make that fight one of the biggest fights, going forward.
I'm looking at another angle for why a Tyson Fury might retire and come back. So do you think it has anything to do with the money? Do you think it has to do with contracts that may have been signed that can't be exited unless he retires? Or do you think, I don't know. I'm just asking. If you have an answer and you're tuning in, write it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think it could have anything to do with contracts? Do you think it could have anything to do with him just wanting to create a scenario where he could sit back and watch the winner of the next fights without relinquishing his belts? Because he hasn't given up the belts. He still has the belts, I believe. Am I correct on that?
Belt.
Belt. Singular.
The WBC. That's the only one he has.
Okay. All right.
And so, the lineal thing is that debatable in my eyes, but he beat the man who beat the man who beat the man, which is a valid situation, no doubt. But as far as the sanctioned body is concerned, he's the BC champion. So
only the BC.
Kind of being only the BC. So to be contractually tied, I don't think that's the case. He just wants to just stay in the mix.
Right. I get that. You think he just wants to stay in the mix?
That's it.
But why would he retire? If he wants to stay in the mix, why would he retire? I don't understand that.
It's dramatic to retire on top, beating the other best guy in the world and this, that, and the other. He is somewhat of a drama manipulator. He's doing quite well with that. Just this thought of him coming back is just shaking the world.
Right.
You remember when Michael Jordan retired and then all of a sudden they said he's in the gym somewhere? Yeah. They were going crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm watching Walter Cronkite or whoever it was, and boom, they're talking about, well, that was a long time ago. I wasn't even alive. But the point is, it made headlines around the world when Michael Jordan showed up in the gym somewhere after he'd been retired. Right. Tyson is getting that same kind of response. Well, not that same kind of response, but it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, let's go back to 2018. Deontay Wilder and Tyson locked horns. Then Tyson fights Tom Schwartz. Then he fights Otto Wallen. Then he fights Deontay Wilder again, TKOs him. Then he fights Deontay Wilder again, KOs him. Then he squares up against Dillian White again for the second time, right? And so now he's going to do it a third time, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. Why the third time with this guy, right? Yeah, like why the third time with this guy? And I mean, you do know that he's going to sell that arena out like crazy, right?
He's got a good dance partner.
Yeah, so you think he's trying to come back so he can reunify the belts again? Because let's just play with this a little. He's going to fight Tyson Fury. Is going to come back. He's going to fight Derek Chisora, and by no means do I mean to discredit Derek Chisora that he could not win this fight. I'm not. Listen, it's a heavyweight fight. I should not be talking just about Tyson Fury because Derek Chisora has a chance, just like Buster Douglas had a chance, and look what Buster Douglas did to Tyson. So, he's got the chance. He can do it. He knows Tyson Fury. Who knows? He might hit him with a lucky punch. Who knows? But
it has to be lucky because Tyson knows Derek.
Right. Well, listen, after this fight, after Tyson Fury squares off, potentially, if he wins this fight, he's going to face Alexander Usyk, who's got all three of the other belts. And the only way he doesn't face Usyk, right, is if Joshua gets those three belts. And if Joshua gets those 3 belts, right, guess what? We got the fight we've been waiting for, right? We got the big kahunas in the ring again. Joshua on his reborn comeback against Tyson Fury. What a headline that would make.
Yes, it would. That's the fight that everyone wants. And if Usyk was to lose, no shame. He's undisputed at the next weight class down.
Yeah.
So it's easy for him to continue there, or he still has cachet to fight as a heavyweight if he loses.
Yeah, man. He looks, I don't know, Usyk looks so small against Joshua. When they squared up for that press conference that they did recently, I mean, he looks so small. I'm like, I don't know how he's going to do that, but you know what? He's done it before. He'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been small with him before, so it's not like it's even a factor.
Right. Right.
He's going to fight his fight. The adjustment has to be made by Joshua. That's where the adjustment has to be made. And if he doesn't make that adjustment, he'll lose the same way.
Right. And you know what, Harold? Here's the thing. I'm just pumped up. I'm really, really excited that he's coming back. I'm really excited that Tyson Fury is coming back to the ring. He's going to be in the ring, squaring off against Derek Chisora. That's happening. And, let's see what comes down the pike, man. We got, in news, obviously we cannot end the program without just briefly talking about the fact that Teofimo Lopez will be back in the ring on Saturday, August 13th. He will be squaring off again against largely unknown Pedro Campa. And it will be a return to the ring for Teofimo Lopez after the Cambosa fiasco. And so he's got to win in impressive fashion. He's got to look great in this fight. It's got to be an early knockout so that so he's back in the conversation so that, potentially he can get it with Ryan Garcia, because they're shooting their mouths off at one another. And that, my friends, would be a great fight, Harold.
Yes, that's pay-per-view worthy. Now, Mr. Lopez, he's at a higher weight class.
Yeah.
Now he has opportunity to focus, not just use his abilities, but to use his mind also. And I know he's going to hire those same people who got him in great shape, who he didn't have in his last fight. He kind of got down on weight by himself.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has re-enlisted those people, so he's comfortable at that. And now he's going to be more cerebral about his work.
Right.
I think he'll do very well in his new weight class, and he's going to take his time and kind of see where he's at and what he wants to do, and then he'll go ahead and finish this guy. He's great for boxing. His antics, his sound bites, his father, all that he brings to boxing in and out of the ring is exciting, and I'm glad he's back.
Yes. And with that, my good friend Harold Hunt, I want to thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, on the Boxing Breakdown. We just rounded right around 30 minutes. And we hope you've enjoyed this condensed version of the Boxing Breakdown, and we're trying it out and seeing if you like it. Hit us in the comments. Let us know what you think. And yeah, man, it's been a pleasure to be with you. And Harold, until next time, see you guys on the other side on the next episode of the Boxing Breakdown. Peace and love.
All right.
All right. Yeah, man, Harold. I hope you have a good night, bro.
I will, man.
Yeah.
Watching tape. Watching foot.
You gonna be watching tape?
Watching fights of everybody we talked about all day.
That's what's up. Peace and love, man.
All right.
Later, y'all.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.